puntong ito, mga kusap natin for the record, si bagong Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process, Secretary Carlito Galvez. Magandang umaga sa inyo, Secretary Galvez.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat, sa mga nanonood at nakikinig po.
Okay, tungkol naman po dito sa lumalabas na ulat or fake news at tungkol sa back-channel talks with CPP-NDF. Fake news ang sabi ni Secretary Lorenzana, pero sabi naman ni MTRCB Board Member Billy Andal, inatasan daw siya mismo ni Pangulong Duterte na makipag-usap o mag-back-channel talk sa mga komunista. For the record, Secretary Galvez, sa pagkakaalam ninyo, may kinakasangabang kahit anong talks o pag-uusap sa CPP-NDF?
Based sa sa latest directive po talaga ng ating mahal na presidente is the peace talks had been already been canceled in 2017. And yung sinasabi po na si Mr. Abilio Andal na siya po ay naatasan na back channel, based sa po namin sa aming napag-usapan po sa command conference, ay hindi po talaga po siya naatasan. He's never been with OPAP and he's never been assigned in any negotiating table. So I believe he is not authorized to do so.
Pero yung pag sinasabi kasing back-channel talks, no, ang kadalasan iniisip natin, these are secret, less formal channels of communication with adversaries or people you want to negotiate with, no? So just because hindi po napag-usapan officially or hindi nyo nalalaman, it would still be possible that there is some informal discussion going on. Is that possible?
Normally po pagka may mga back channel po na ganyan, nalalaman po ng office po namin sa OPAP. And then for now, nakita namin na talaga nung nag-usap-usap na kami nila Secretary Delpin Lorenzana at saka ni NSA, Jonas Peron, ay talaga pong walang information sa amin na meron pong back channel na. Ang directive po ng ating mahal na presidente is we will have a small opening for the peace talks. Considering that for this moment, nakikita po namin na hindi pa talagang timely na magkaroon ng resumption ng peace talk because we feel that the CPP-NPA-NDF is not sincere in really doing the peace talks.
And recently, yung rhetoric po against them has been heating up. May mga observation nga, mas matindi ang crackdown ng government forces sa mga rebelding komunista ngayon dahil inaakusahan sila ng administrasyon na bahagi sila ng isang destabilization plot, conspiring with other groups. Ano po yung latest dito sa mga nalalaman yung information tungkol dito sa mga destabilization plots and yung involvement po ng mga iba't ibang grupo?
Nakita po natin talaga na ganun po ang ginagawa po talaga ng CPP-NPA. Lahat ng administration, they want to destabilize and really to rule the country using the dictatorship of the proletariat. So with that, ang ano po namin is meron po tayong EO-70 na bago ngayon at ngayon po ay hinihimay-himay po namin ang mga dapat namin gawin. Ang pagkakaalam po namin din po sa opisina po namin ay we are planning to have the provisions for localized peace engagements. So we are preparing for a possible engagement with our governors and also with our regional officials. Kasi nakikita natin since ng 50 years ng ang CPP-NPA and we have a lot of negotiations. Walang nangyayari po sa negotiations. And with that, we will venture an imaginative process wherein we can involve yung localized dynamics dun sa baba.
Okay, well, those are interesting items you just mentioned. No? Unahin natin itong mag-50 years na nga, itong kilusan nila. Do you know if they're planning any extraordinary events, activities, or even movements, offensives?
During the command conference, nakita natin na mayroon pong diniscuss doon na I cannot don't have the liberty to discuss it. But the concentration of our security forces is really to have a campaign really in ending the insurgency. And the mandate of the OPAP is to initiate yung localized national orchestrated and localized peace talks which we feel na mas maganda mas maganda dahil kasi nagiging productive yung engagement natin with the governors and other stakeholders na talagang na-involved dun sa conflict areas dun sa area. Particularly dito sa area ng Eastern Mindanao, Southern Luzon, and other regions.
Okay, well, that sounds promising. Itong sinasabi niyong localized peace engagements, I mean, recognizing yung breakdown nga ng national talks. So, can you give us more details, sir, tungkol dito sa localized peace engagements? Nabanggit yung Eastern Mindanao at Southern Luzon. Paano ho magaganap yan? Ano po yung proseso dyan?
Nakita natin doon sa EO-70, we saw that the military solution is not complete. So the EO-70 works for a whole government, whole of nation approach. So ito magiging yung itatakal natin dito is more on the dynamics of conflicts wherein the triggers or the underlying reasons of the insurgency will be completely addressed. So more on socioeconomic interventions and also how to solve the ills of malgovernance and also on how to produce the basic services so that the underlying reasons for insurgency will be removed.
Okay, but we've been hearing that kind of approach for a long time. But pag sinasabing localized peace engagements, would it include localized peace talks? I mean, magkakaroon ba ng dialogue not on the national level maybe, pero dun sa baba, sa level po ng mga regional commanders, sa mga provincial commanders po ng dalawang panig?
Yes, nakita natin yung CPLA at saka yung RPA engagement natin. We are now in the final resolutions. Kaya nakita natin yung ginawa natin sa Negros and also dito sa mountain province areas. Naging productive siya kasi alam natin na yung problema sa baba ay talagang masosolve din sa baba din. So ang nakikita natin when we close the boundaries on the localized peace talks, mawawala yung mga tinatawag nating mga very complex variables na inaakyat dun sa national peace talks. So tinitingnan namin mas maganda dahil kasi we involve all the stakeholders, the key leaders, the LGUs, and also the town folks who are really being affected by the conflict. So sila talaga dapat ang mag-solve dito. And if we can solve the local peace talks in accordance dun sa talaga ng dynamics doon. So we have best model sa RPA rejectionist model at saka yung sa CPLA. Nakikita natin na pwede ring magtagumpay ito sa ibang areas lalo na sa Eastern Mindanao.
Okay, one final question, sir, about this particular topic. Nabanggit nyo nga, mag-50 years na po itong communist movement. And after 3 years po ng Duterte administration, anong assessment nyo ng strength ng Communist Party of the Philippines and their armed wing, armed group, yung New People's Army?
Being a previous chief of staff, nakita natin na pababa na yung lakas ng CPNPA. Even yung tatawag nating nagkakaroon ng snowballing of surrenderies. As of this moment, I believe the AP have already computed na more or less 11 to 12,000 na ang nagsusurrender sa CPNPA. And even though I'm receiving every now and then sa reports sa open media na every day there are many CPP-NPA members who are surrendering. Ang pinaka-latest natin yung 22 sa Mindoro.
Okay, sa ibang usapin naman po ay itong tungkol sa BOL, nalalapit na po ang plebisito para sa Bangsamoro Organic Law. Ano ho ang dedesisyonan sa plebisitong ito? What can you share with our with fellow Filipinos about the importance of this plebiscite, sir?
Ang dito po sa January 21 plebiscite, ang pag-ano po nito ay yung core territories, including po yung pag-dedesisyonan nito ang inclusion ng Cotabato City at saka yung Isabela City. So nakikita po namin sa aming palagay at saka sa aming pong pag-ikot sa Sulu, Basilan, Tawi-Tawi, Maguindanao at Lanao, we have seen a lot of presence ng ating mga tao, and we saw that they are very motivated and inspired to really vote for this coming plebiscite. And we saw that there is a unanimous decision in Maguindanao, Lanao, and Tawi-Tawi for the best yes vote of for the BOL. Dito po sa Basilan and also in the areas of Sulu, there are some significant for no, but we also predicted na magkakaroon po ng tinatawag natin mga 75% win po ang yes for BOL. Sa February 6, doon po natin i-decide yung 67 barangays sa North Cotabato na pwedeng mag-include because the COMELEC already decided na from 39, magiging 67 na po ang barangays na gustong sumama sa BOL. This is a significant development. And also including yung 6 na doon sa Lanao del Norte, we will also decide with the major tatawag nating double majority for the inclusions of the possible inclusions of the different 6 municipalities in Lanao del Norte. So we will decide it on February 6.
Okay, sir.
So we will have 2 dates for the plebiscite.
Okay, sir.
2 days for the plebiscite.
Okay. Sir, nabanggit nyo na in some provinces malakas po yung no. Ano po yung main objections po? Yung mga nagsasabing hindi po sila pabor dito sa Bangsamoro Organic Law.
Ang medyo malakas po medyo is yung mga political figure dito po sa sa Sulu, yung kampo po ng incumbent Vice Governor sa Tan, and also dito po sa areas ng Cotabato sa incumbent mayor. But I believe yung nakikita rin namin based on sa survey po namin ay overwhelming pa rin po ang ng yes, more or less 60 to 75%. Ang kanilang pong hinaing po is yun po yung sinasabi nilang na there is no consultation and then it's not inclusive. But these issues have been resolved already. I've been working with the Senate and Congress since 2012, and nakita namin talaga yung consultation is very extensive. All areas, even yung non-core areas, pinupuntahan po namin.
Okay, maraming salamat sa inyong panahon, Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process, Secretary Carlito Galvez.